With it being indoor season, I wanted to break out my target compound, this Mathews TRX 38 G2, and I wanted to get it tuned up with some big old aluminum arrows for indoors. Not huge ones, but 2315, so feet illegal. And that's what I'm going to do in this video. Is I'm going to basically go through the process to get this thing dialed in, shoot it through paper, and get it tuned up so I can shoot a few indoor rounds with this, because I've never shot them with the target compound, and I'm excited to see what kind of scores I'll end up with. So like I said in the intro, I am working on dialing in this compound here, this Mathews TRX 38 G2, and I went through and adjusted a whole bunch of different parameters on the actual setup on the bow, because when I was shooting this last, after I paper tuned it for outdoors, I lowered the rest a considerable amount because of what I was seeing as far as paper tuning, right? And I had a couple of really good comments and some feedback, thanks to you guys out there, by the way, for suggesting putting the arrow higher up on the bow to load up the top cam, kind of advance the top timing a little bit, basically, to make the bow a little lighter to hold up a little more. So first I started by bumping up the actual D-loop high enough so basically the bottom of the arrow is at least in the center of the burger buttonholes, if not slightly elevated above that. Got the rest all dialed in for that, adjusted the drop away tension, changed things up a little bit there as far as where the mount is going so it drops where I'd like it to. And then I also, had to move the peep up because of the D-loop being higher, and I bumped that up as well. And then I had a set of 2315s because I was going to try them with my recurve a long time ago with some heavier points, and I just never got around to it before I retired. So I had a brand new set of X23s, and I happened to have a set of 200 grain pro points as well here. And so I threw those in the arrow. And then I had some 5-inch shield cut feathers left wing that I fletched up left helical. It's just what I had on hand. So now I've got my arrow all built up, ready to go. And what I'm doing now here, I'm outside, and after adjusting everything, I am going to shoot a few shots to kind of get the string to settle in a little bit. Hopefully my peep doesn't need a whole lot of changing. And so I'm going to shoot a few arrows here at blank bail, get my rough aiming reference point, and start shooting some arrows through paper. Get this thing shooting a bullet hole, so that way later this week I can shoot some scoring rounds. I've never shot an NFAA scoring round with a compound, and I've not shot some indoor rounds with a compound either outside of my hunting bow. So I'm really curious to see how this goes, because this bow feels really good, and it's obviously made for target, not my Spider 34 from Hoyt that's almost a decade old by now. That's basically what I'm doing. A lot of talking. Let's get to shooting. I'm going to shoot a few arrows, kind of just make sure that things are settling in nice, and then I'll shoot through some paper. I've got my other camera here, which is just an old phone of mine, and I will be using that for a close-up so you can see what the bullet holes are doing through paper there. I just love the feel of this bow compared to my hunting bow. This thing jumps much harder, and the wall's just far superior, way more solid. I really enjoy the way it draws. I think the peep's pretty close to where I'd like it to be. Definitely not as snappy as the lightweight outdoor arrows. This bow should be right near or at 60 pounds, but I can definitely feel the extra weight of these arrows. All right, I don't see anything moving a lot here, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get positioned to start shooting some arrows through paper. Hopefully it should be pretty close based on my measurements. It's looking like the arrows are at least sticking in straight here, at least this close at blank bale, so that's a good sign. All right, I'm gonna shoot my first one about 6 feet from the paper. But first I'm gonna stand 6 feet from the bale, shoot an arrow at the bale, just to get an idea of where my impact is to make sure that I don't, miss where I'm aiming at as far as on the paper spot. I hit a couple inches low. So I'm about, like I said, I'm about 6 feet or so from the paper right now. I mean, honestly, that looks like a bullet hole to me. Shoot a couple of them, but yeah, I mean, it's really hard to tell if it's knock left or right at all. Up and down, there's none. It's definitely a little left or right. I'm not sure which, because it's really hard with the helical that I'm using here to really tell if it's knock left or right. So, looks to me maybe that it's point left, knock right. If it's knock right, I'm gonna bump the rest in a little bit. The rest looks like it's a slightly outbound over the center of the throat of the grip. Just the tiniest amount, so maybe this will fix it. I'd say that looks better. That looks like a bullet hole now. I'll shoot one more. Yeah, that looks really good now. I'm not seeing any left and right movement there at all. So I'm gonna step back about 15 feet and do the same thing. I wanna make sure that I've got 2 snapshots, not just one, because this is only one snapshot about 6 foot from the bow. So I'm gonna go back about double where I'm at, 12, 15 feet, and shoot another couple arrows through paper. First I'm gonna shoot one at the bale, see where I hit, so that way I don't send this arrow through the cardboard. Just a bit to the right. That one looks like it was the same as the first 2, where it was slightly knocked right, so I'm gonna bump it just a tiny bit more to the right. I'm really happy that I don't have to move the rest up and down at all, because I've got the rest timed pretty good, I think, to where it starts to come down about 50% of the way down the arrow as far as the draw cycle is concerned, and that affects when it drops as far as the height. And obviously, I don't want to change from being slightly above center relative to the burger button. That one maybe hit a little squirrelier, maybe a little knock low. Shoot another one. I think the paper actually is wavering a little bit, making it look like it's tearing funny. I really should just get a proper paper tuner set up instead of cutting out cardboard boxes like I am. But this works in a pinch. Yeah, it looks really solid as far as the bullet hole is concerned when I'm closer to the grounding rod that it's actually taped to. Basically what I do, because I don't have a proper paper tuner, I don't really ever paper tune except for a couple times when I shoot my compound through paper to get it tuned up, because I don't use paper tuning for recurve. It's just not something I do, and we'll talk about that in another video because I've had a few questions about that lately. But for the sake of tuning this bow up, it feels to me like it's pretty dang solid. Bullet hole at 6 foot, bullet hole at 15 feet, 12 feet, somewhere in that range. I think I'm good to go. So basically all that I'm gonna do is get sighted in, not today, but tomorrow I'm gonna shoot a scoring round, and I'll have that video up and available for you on Saturday. I'm gonna shoot my round for the Backyard Archery Championships with my compound. If you don't know what the Backyard Archery Championships are, it's a digital mail-in tournament that we're running through Kaminski Archery. So it's the Kaminski Archery Backyard Archery Championships, and we're running the indoor round right now. It's a digital mail-in tournament that archers from around the world are currently competing in, and we're running a giveaway for Easton X10 Parallel Pro 3.2 millimeter arrows alongside the actual tournament. You get entries into that giveaway by signing up for the tournament and submitting scores. There's also no purchase necessary, free ways to enter into the giveaway. Again, all those details down in the description below. And I'll put a card at the top up there to my website, jakekaminski.com, and you'll be able to sign up for the tournament. Now, I'm really happy that this thing tuned up very easily. I guess it really helps when you preliminarily align everything and do a few tricks that people have learned, especially seasoned people have learned and have suggestions on how to set up a bow that actually makes it shoot better or hold better or just behave a little bit more reasonably when you're shooting. So huge thanks to those people that did comment on the last video that I shot this bow in about how to set up where the arrow is relative to the plunger hole, and we'll see how it goes with the actual aiming and the balance and the setup. And I can't wait to get back to 20 yards and start shooting on a 3-spot, get a score submitted for the Backyard Archery Championships, and then I'd love to shoot a NFAA round on a blue and white face on a 5-spot, just for the sake of seeing how it goes. So with all that being said, I hope you got value out of this video, and if you wouldn't mind, hit that subscription button and the notification bell down below. Genuinely helps this channel out, also helps grow the channel. And if you're interested in any of the gear that I featured in today's video, any of them that I am able to post affiliate links down in the description below, I will do so. Genuinely, that helps the channel out massively if you click those links before you shop there. It's how I continue to produce these videos and to offer unbiased reviews. I do reviews for barebow and recurve stuff, a little bit of traditional stuff here or there, but I haven't done any reviews for compound stuff. Maybe at some point in the future I will. Just depends on how things go and what you think of it. So if you're interested, comment below and I'll be sure to review that stuff. I do plan on shooting the new Parallel Pro, the 3.2 millimeter X10 out of this bow after I shoot a few scores with these aluminum 2315s and see what kind of indoor scores I can get out of shooting a compound for fun here in my backyard. Thanks for watching. Take care.